Good morning, Ifako. Good morning, Lagos State. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, planet Earth. How are you doing this morning? Here we are from Ifako Radio in Ifako Jai on newspaper review to the world. My name is Victor Kolade Abdobajale, and here with me is
Olani David.
Mr. David. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine.
How's the weekend?
Yeah, weekend was very fine. Okay, so this morning, on newspaper review from Ifako Radio, I'm going to start with the news from Katsina, which says the Katsina governor Diko Rada hospitalized after car crash. Katsina governor Diko Rada hospitalized after car crash. Governor Diko Rada Umar of Katsina State was involved in a car accident on Sunday along the Daura-Katsina highway, the state government has announced. In a statement released by his spokesperson, Ibrahim Kaula Mohammed, the accident occurred while the governor was on an official duty. The statement described the incident as a minor road accident and assured the public that the governor did not sustain any serious injury. We are pleased to confirm that the governor is in good health and stable condition. The statement reads, Governor Rada remains in high spirits and expresses his gratitude to Almighty Allah for his protection as well as Katsina citizens and well-wishers for their prayers and concern. Yeah, this is from Katsina saying that the governor was involved in a car crash and by grace of God he didn't sustain any injury. Well, I think it's important. There's this adage in Yoruba that says that when a child falls, he looks forward, but if an adult falls, the adult looks back to check what has happened. So it is important that the government actually looks at what exactly happened. Is it the fault of the driver? Is it the fault of the road construction or something? So
there are photos as usual.
Exactly. So we never can tell. We never can tell. Maybe it was a free road or maybe
perhaps the driver has been used and he was so tired.
Yeah.
He couldn't concentrate. So, well, first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Katsina State.
Exactly.
Because last week, Katsina was in the spotlight with the presidential, our former president, the state burial organized by the state of the Nigerian state in Daura. And this time around, and even at that state function, the Katsina state governor was in the spotlight. He was crying like a baby. And now, a week after, he was involved in an accident.
And on that same Daura road, as the news
So we have every cause to thank God. Mr. Governor, we help you to thank God and the entire Katsina citizen and resident that our governor is in good health. I did not sustain injury, so it's fine. I think it's a good thing. So, but we still need to investigate. Let us check the gap bottles on this road. Or the driver is being overused. Maybe they've been traveling from one state to another. We know the electioneering here is fast approaching, so people are meeting from one meeting to another, from one caucus to another.
Sometimes it's really overnight.
So if that should be the case, maybe they will need to get someone to assist the driver and the chief pilot. So let me call him the chief pilot of Katsina State. So congratulations, Mr. Governor. So my list, I have the Punch newspaper today. I will be starting with politics. I'm sure somebody out there will say, why is this Mr. David always interested in politics? Because politics shaping the country, shaping the resources, and it's shaping life.
That means
so it determines the state of we need to know the state of affairs, so everything is politics. So the Punch has this headlines that says, Race to 2027, PDP flag bearer, battle begins after Atiku exit. That is interesting. Well, let me read some two paragraphs there. With the race for the PDP 2027 presidential ticket underway, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar exit has cleared the way for your state governor Seyi Makinde, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, and other hopefuls seeking to challenge President Bola Tinubu. The Punch report. Reliable PDP insider who spoke on condition of anonymity confirmed that the presidential ambition of Makinde and Bala were well known among key party stakeholders. So now we all know that last 2 weeks ago, the former vice president and of course um, I think he's the highest presidential aspirant so far since 1992.
Always on the run.
Since 1992. And Atiku has finally dumped PDP to ADC. And now this has given room to Seyi Makinde. We all know that Seyi Makinde have his eyes on the #1 citizen job in Nigeria. Likewise, Bala Mohammed. So I think those are the top. But I think if we read further and if you look at the constitution of the PDP, their bylaw, you will know that they believe in a rotational system. Yeah. So, and I think so. I think they should look towards the south. Okay. The south. So I mean, what I mean is that Nigeria should not be divided into two, not and the south. So the south can be from the south, it can be from the south side, can be from the southwest. So they should look towards the south. So because that is the beauty of democracy. So not that the country should be a one-man, one-party system. So, and if we have all the opposition party clamoring, either for change, clamoring to get power at all cost, so I think the ruling party will put them on the track, and they'll be able to do the policy that is needed, that will get to the citizenry at the grassroots. So, because what are the needs of the ordinary citizen? Food, clothes, shelter. So, those are the basic needs of any man of the world. So, the policies that will make that happen, so the ruling party should start doing that. And of course, the economy should grow. So, the time of GDP should grow. So, I think for Makinde, I believe he has a good chance. If truly that they are zoning it, because with what body just said, that they are scrapping for the southerner. So I think he has a better chance. But now, with the two ruling party, now the ruling party is from southwest, from the southern, exactly. Southwest. Makinde is from southwest. Now, there's power tussle. We don't know that the.
Do you think that will divide the southwest?
Definitely, it will.
But the fraction is going to be. Well, I'm just thinking.
You can never tell, okay? Because if you look so far, Oyo State is one of the swing states. Okay. Yes, even on those states, it's one of the swing states. Edo State is one of the swing states. So even Ogun State, close by here, so it's also so it will. But it now depends on how influential is he in the southwest. He may be influential. Even if I think he's influential in the PDP.
I'm even thinking Oyo, Osun State. Sorry, Osun State. Governor Adeleke runs Osun and is a member of the People Democratic Party. So I think Governor Seyi Makinde might have edge in Osun, being a flag bearer for PDP.
Yes, because you know that Adeleke is that by next year he will be vying for a second term. Exactly. Makinde by 2027 he will be leaving the office. So that's why he has his eyes on the #1 citizen. But we'll be able to analyze that as it unfolds, as politics unfold towards 2027. Yeah. So and of course you can be rest assured that Ifako Radio will keep you updated.
Definitely, and I think it is even a good strategy if the PDP wants to use a southerner, because they'll be projecting a northerner for a couple of years, running for this, running for that, and they've not been able to get it. Yeah, on Premium Times newspaper here, I'm in Lagos State, but I've not left Katsina from my news review. The Katsina government extends maternity leave for nursing mothers. The Katsina government extends maternity leave for nursing mothers. So it says the principal private secretary, the PPS of the governor, the Korada of Katsina, Abdullahi Turaji, made this known in Katsina while receiving officials of the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria, the CSSUNN, on a courtesy visit. According to him, he said the decision was taken during the State Executive Council. He explained that the extension was considered in line with the either a compulsory period in which widows remain indoors after their husband's death. Also, the secretary of the CSSUN and Katsina chapter said the visit was to advocate for government policy providing for 6 months maternity leave for lactating mothers. According to him, it is also to advocate for the increased funding and timely release of the Child Nutrition Fund, especially the one-to-one matching grant for nutrition. He says again that interestingly, again, unknown to us, maternity leave has been extended to 4 months and 10 days. Therefore, we really commend the government for this commitment because it will encourage and support nursing mothers in the state workforce. Well, I think this is a kudos to the government of Katsina for considering the women and particularly the nursing mothers. Now, I think according to the Labour Act, it is usually a compulsory minimum of 3 months, but now it has been extended in Katsina to 4 months and 10 days.
But in Lagos, we have it for 6 months.
For 6 months, okay.
So maternity is university because mothers that have undergone either by operation or natural birth should be given the time to be able to heal. Because we don't have this pregnancy, kudos to all mothers all over the world. Ifako Radio really appreciate what you do and the sacrifice you give to populate the nation all over the world. So I think Castina really tapped into it. They got it right this time around. I think it's a good thing. We should appreciate them because the women for play a major role because they are the one that incubates. The men we give the seed, they incubate, and that therefore the structure, their body structures change. Strive from their body structure in every aspect of their lives change and even affect them. Some it affect them mentally, so physically, psychologically. Yeah. So and giving them that 4 months, I think is a good thing to be able to get themselves. Like this somewhere like Lagos, they give 6 months. Even like in Lagos, they even give pathological for men. Yeah. So too, I think that one is 1 month or I don't know. But I think I know that it was signed into law in Lagos State. So Castina, you're doing well. I believe the other states and the other state should also keep it.
Yeah, I think I also want to advocate for men also. So for the men will also need increased paternity leave. This is from Ifako Radio to the governor of Katsina. Please, for the men in Katsina, they also need increased paternity leave. According to the Labour Act, it is a minimum of 14 days, which actually many of the states are using 14 days. So since the one for female, for the women, have been increased from 3 months to 4 months and 10 days. Please consider the men also. They are also going through a lot. They are going through a lot.
Yes, I agree with you. So that will take me to the Nation newspaper today. So the Nation newspaper, I have an headline said, Awujale predicted my second term victory, says Tinubu. So the content, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday recall with fondness how Awujale of Ijebuland, Obasikuru Adetono, who joined his ancestor on July 13, predicted his victory in the 2023 election and added that he will win re-election in 2027. The president spoke in Ijebu Ogun State on the life and time of the party traditional ruler during his 8-day figure held at Dippo Dinner Stadium, where dignitaries bade him final farewell. So, the president, so my stylishly, I think I'm trying to look for the word to use. Mr. President, yes, he energized the former Awujale, who has joined his ancestor last week. So, since on the 13th, and yesterday was the 8-day figure prayer. Mr. President and member of the executive member, and even the National Assembly were there yesterday. So that he now said that Awujale played key predicted his victory in 2023. I also predicted 2027 victory. What do you think about that?
Well, I think for him to have predicted the first one and it succeeded, then definitely well I can't say we never can tell, but then looking at the statistics, if you use the same technique to achieve a result, then using the same technique will definitely give you the same
So
result.
that got us to the point that you don't change your winning team. So you still retain your winning team to
Definitely.
get the ball.
Definitely. But I'm very sure that people from the opposing party will also come and say somebody also predicted something for them at a particular period and they are also predicting their win. It's just a game.
And if we look at it, if we look during the campaign of the Balabu Lala, then if we look at those campaign period, most words and most strategic words came out from the state.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I can remember two.
And Eleyi.
I can remember that.
Yes.
So I think if we look at the political terrain of Nigeria, Ogo State has a major key that they played so far. So I think so. And Awujale, if you look at the dignitaries that were there yesterday, they really energized the late Awujale. He has even placed the Jebu on the world map with their what's the name of this their program? The yearly program. They told me to skip my mind. Ojudioba, yes, Ojudioba. So and when all the country, all across the world, our friends of the Jebu are always there, and it's always you can imagine see the steels and you see the steels and you see the economic colors and you see the economic impact. Because you see that the bottled water seller will make some money, the cola nut seller will make some money. So everything, the
Brand sale.
the attire. I find, you know what captivates me is those attire. Those attire, is our local wear. It's not imported. I think that will also appeal to the government to look into that. Let us be wearing our native,
We can even make it
official. We can turn it to shirt. We can turn it to jacket that people will wear to the office. So we can look inward so that the way the Chinese people are fully independent from the West, Indian people are fully. So we too can use our regalia. So, and with that, there will be limited search for the dollar.
Definitely. And
for forex.
Our naira to appreciate.
And our naira we appreciate. And by that, it will be more manufacturing company, and that will help maybe the Kaduna textile mill.
Okay.
They come up, okay. The the one at super textile mill on Oshodi Solo. Okay. So, and you can imagine the level of labor, the employment that will be there, lot of youths that will be there, and they'll be able to feed their family, they'll be able to cater for themselves and their home. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. The government should look into that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And one thing I just wanted to add is that there is something, one significant thing and an advantage of traditional rulers is the effectiveness of their words and how it binds. So, when you meet a traditional ruler and you predict something and it binds, it increases the way we give respect to such person. So if this happens, as President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that Awujale has predicted, and it happens, then I think it will increase the way we rate.
Yeah, because naturally in Africa, yes, there have been government. Time will not permit us. We know that there have been government in Africa, and our government is the traditional. Traditional rulers, either by Bale or by Kabisi or by Obas or by I don't know whatever the Emir. So and it's so common also in Nigeria and in any settlement in Nigeria, either from the geopolitical zone, we have traditional rulers that people listen to, even when there was no light, when there was no power in France, when there was no power in some section of the Western world, there was power, street light already in old Benin Kingdom. So, and we have the Alaki of Eba. We have in Ijebu there. We have even in Lagos. And we have all across the whole so the honor of Ife. We have the Emir of Kano. We have the Sultan of Sokoto. And those people govern their settlement, govern their work, govern their citizens, govern their villages and their cities. And they report back. And some of that, and most time, those leaders laid a good foundation. So traditional institute is very, very essential to development of a nation and economy.
Yeah, and I think I would on that vein want to commend the House of and the Senate, the National Assembly, on their recently just concluded public hearing, because it was part of the themes of discussion, whereby I remember the Oni of Ife and other traditional rulers were mentioning that the traditional level should also be institutionalized because of the significance of the tradition and the culture of Nigeria. So from there, I would like to go on the pitch a little bit. From the Vanguard newspaper, I would like to join the Super Falcons on the pitch from the WAFCON News, the Women African Cup of Nations. Says Super Falcons semi-final opponent confirmed. Super Falcons semi-final opponent confirmed. South Africa have sealed their place in the semi-finals of the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations, which is WAFCON, and we now face Super Falcons of Nigeria in a highly anticipated clash at the Stade La Bizaouli in Casablanca, Morocco. The Bayana edged past Senegal in a tense quarter-final encounter on Saturday, triumphing 4-1 on penalties after both regulation and extra time ended goalless. Nigeria, on their part, booked their semi-final ticket with an emphatic 5.0 demolition of Zambia's Copper Queen on Friday, maintaining their perfect record at the tournament. So now Nigeria is going to be facing South Africa. So Super Falcons will be facing the Bayana. It's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting.
And we are a long-time rival. Yes, and you know that Nigeria is a long-time rival with 4 major countries, namely Ghana, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, and what they call this one?
Are you about to mention Cameroon?
Ethiopia. Cameroon.
So even
that would be interesting.
Even the Super Eagles also. I think they've always had this. Which I'm very sure it's going to be an interesting one.
Very. I can't wait to watch.
I can't wait to. Sincerely speaking, it's just that anytime I want to watch the game between nationality and every other, I usually have this pressure of me.
Naturally.
I think it's part of being patriotic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I'm still on the Punch newspaper. I have a retired police officer protest under rain at National Assembly gate. Amid rain, some retired police officers on Monday staged a protest at the entrance of the gate, National Assembly. The protesters are demanding their removal from the contributory pension scheme. The demonstrator, comprising elderly ex-police personnel, held placard and chanted solidarity song as they stood in the rain, insisting that their welfare and dignity had been neglected for too long. Speaking during the protest, a retired chief superintendent of police, CSP Mane Lawal retired, called on the government to exit police retirees from pension scheme, which he described as exploitative and unjust. So, I think there's a law on this pension law that is being that is on the desk on the House of the National Assembly that they're still working on, and then the retired police officers have been taken out of that. So I think that was what led to the retired police officer nationwide to come and protest at the gate of the National Assembly, because the National Assembly is the house of the people, the house of the masses, and that is where the law is really under the separation of power. So I think the National Assembly should look into this, because those people, they serve diligently, they served their country, they served their nation in various, some have served even in the most difficult, remote area in this country. So, and I think the only survivor thing that they have at the moment is their pension. So taking their pension out of it because they've contributed, the pension, how it works is that the government contributed a certain quota and from their salary, so they deducted some certain quota. So believing that when they are 60, when they retire, so they will get something on a monthly basis. So I think the government should look inward because everybody is going to be a pensioner at the end of the day, most especially the public office holders and the civil servants. We should not deprive them their right. They've served for 35, 40 years, and some even by extension 40. So they should not be denied what is due to them. They should give them their pension at the right time. We should give it to them at the right time because that is what that make them a citizen. And some of them, because you deny them this, they died. They are late.
Some of them have died in abject poverty.
Some where they are living is nothing to write them about. So the only thing that is left for them is their pension. Let the pension be given to them at the right time. I think I support them. I saw that. Ifako is support.
Yeah. Ifako Radio also supports them.
Radio support them.
Yes, I think I also want to say, please, this to the government, all our personnel, particularly at the security agencies, should be encouraged, particularly financially, because money is a purchasing power. And if people who are ensuring security are not being paid well, then security is not complete. And when there is just minus 1% from 100% of security, that is total.
And that's not only for the police, it's also for the entire
security
agency.
Yeah. So I think I want to support them on this. This government should come to their aid. Yeah, I am on the Vanguard newspaper. I'm going to be reading the news from Vanguard newspaper, which says why Obi El-Rufai haven't joined ADC yet. This is from Bolaji Abdullahi. Why Obi El-Rufai haven't joined ADC yet. So says the African Democratic Congress addressed the delay in the full membership of the 2023 presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, and former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai in the party. This came as former Director General of former DG of the PDP, Mr. Madru Abu, resigned from the PDP and joined the ADC. Also a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in Delta State, Chief Ayiri Imami, has dismissed concern that the former Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovi Omoagegi, will ditch the APC for ADC. So now, this news is saying that members of the obedience movement during the weekend won ADC against selling his presidential ticket to the highest bidder. Meanwhile, former Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Osita, declared that no leader of the ADC could inherit late President Muhammad Buhari's 12 million votes. So, the headline is saying that Obi El-Rufai haven't joined the ADC yet. And I think like some weeks ago, when there is this controversy, particularly on the X space, which is formerly known as Twitter, yes, when people were asking Obi if he would leave Labour Party for a ADC, and he said that he's not sure about his defection yet until he's sure that the purpose of ADC is going to be to reduce the killing or to tackle the killing in Benue State and to also do some subventions for people that are living in abject poverty. And a couple of days ago, I think we also read on the news where somebody called the ADC a political party for the opposition party. So it's a coalition of political leaders from different opposition parties. Very, very funny. Very, very funny that, when a political party is just made for leaders of opposing party to counter a political party. So it's been a skeptical and controversial statement.
Just like I said some weeks ago, this coalition was ongoing. Now, this coalition that you're talking, they're coming from different parties. They have different ideology.
Yeah.
They have different bylaws. They have different reason why they're there, and their plan and motivate and their motive that brought them into politics differ from one another. And some have been there running in 1992, some joining in 1996, some joining in 2000, in 1999, some joining in 2003, some joining in 2007, some joining in 2011, and some in 2015, and here in 2022 or 2022 or 2023. Now, if Peter Obi should be man enough to let Nigeria know where he is. Because today, we hear that he's at the coalition. Today, no, he's staying like a snail. No. If you want to really be real opposition leader in this country, let the Nigerian citizen, the Nigerian masses, know where he actually belongs. So that we'll not be able to, because the party where you stand will determine where the ideology that you have for the greatness of Nigeria and for the betterment of Nigeria. So Peter Obi and his team should be able to let Nigeria know, are they still in Labour Party, or is they moving to PDP, because it's associated to Labour, PDP, who was his former party, then Labour Party, where he aspired for president in 2023 election, and now we also see him in EDC. So it should be open. It should be open and direct. Then, because you may be looking at the 2027. 2027 is not too far. We're right in 2025. And next year, 2026, is political year. It's politicking here and there. So let the Nigerian citizen know where Peter Obi is.
I think I want to agree with you, because during the 2023 elections, I remember he had a lot of followers online. So
the youth.
Yeah, well, the youth, and not just the youth.
And the Southerners.
Yes.
And when I said the Southerners, the Airlights.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I think majorly the online users. So the people who vote online. So I think it is important that the online voters also know where he actually.
Truly, I can say that online, but to be sincere, you can know that people also troop up, even though it came out as the third one or the first one.
And that was just the influence of social media. Actually.
So that shows that social media has a role, a key role to play in politics. Now, on the Nation newspaper, I have Great Grazing Reserve to resolve farmer herders clashes. Fulani leader begs government. The National President Miyati Allah Kautai here, Fulani Social Cultural Association, alleged Dr. Bello Badejo and Secretary Engineer Salah Al-Alsan have appealed to governor to create grazing reserve for herders in their respective states. The judge said this is one of the ways government can curb conflict between farmers and herders across the nation. Speaking in Isenyi during the Southwest Peace Summit and inauguration of the year executive of the association, the Fulani leaders warned that farmers and herders clashes, if unresolved, pose great threat not just to the economy but also to the national security. And if we look at this, you know that the essence of governance and government is to preserve life and property. And over the years, and I can go as far back in the late 80s, the Metasenians have been there. So I believe that it's all those people that metamorphose into the elders and all these people that are killing most especially, and we have it in one particular area. If you check it, you check Benin, part of Ekiti. Those people, they are boundary now to Isenyi, or your state. And if you look at the map, there are boundaries. Those they connect, their forests connect to one another. And over time, there has been these clashes. And if you travel to the Western world, you see there's no open grazing anywhere. There's no open grazing. They have So
We have reserve
we have
area.
reserve area. When you're traveling on the rail, you see, wow, you see the cow, you see the goat, you see the, and which is good. I think there was a proposal for that, and some state government knock it that no, it cannot happen. That because they believe that Fulani will come and take over their community, will come and take it. Okay, if you don't want the Fulanis to come and take over your community, why not train the youth in your state, in your local government, and give them the opportunity to graze, and give them a clean reserve area and fund them? And so each state should care for them. I think there was one particular state in the northern state, I don't know, I can't remember if it is KB or Castina. He did it very well. I think it's in KB. He did it very well, but today it's not functioning. He even built and built. I know I followed the story up then, but today it's not there. So I think we need to go back to this, because if you want to stop the fight, killing between farmers and others, so we need to go back to this, create a grazing reserve.
Yeah.
So, and with that, you see that there will be the veterinary. There's a lot of people that will benefit from it. The people that kills the animal for proper consumption. Then the people that will be bringing the food, the feeders, will also benefit. Then the people that will transportation sector will also benefit. Then the people that will clean and preserve the place neatly will benefit. So the government should look, and not only, and not all hands on the federal government, but the federal government cannot do it alone. The National Assembly has pushed the federal government for it, because it's the democratic setting and the separation of power. After the National Assembly have pushed, this thing need to go to the State House of Assemblies, and that is where the issue is, because we need to third. They need to third of the state assemblies. So, and to third of the state assemblies, that's with the states we have 36 states and the FCT, they need 24 states. I think the last time they pushed that, I think they were able to get like roughly like 13 or 18 states. And 18 states, and we have 24 states to go. So I think the state governor and the state house of assembly should also be brought to, they should look into it, because their core duty of going there or being elected to that office is to preserve life and properties.
Yeah, I think I also want to agree with you that they should look into it, particularly because of the security reasons. Because we've been learning of killings and massive killing, massacres because of this grazing and the public issue of cattle moving from one place to the other on someone's farm, and there's always been clash. So I think the government should look discreetly into this, because if you are saying you want to protect lives and property, and on everyday basis we have been hearing of issues of killing from the Fulani herdsmen and all of that, there should be a place of balance, a pivot where everybody, it might not be favorable to everybody at the same time, but then when there is a balance,
not even at this age, we should have open grazing, not at this stage.
So we should
be, I know we've outgrown that.
Exactly.
So
I think lastly from here, I'll be talking about health, because as I suppose also health is important. This is saying from the Punch newspaper, doctors to begin nationwide strike. Doctors to begin nationwide strike. I hope this doesn't happen. As the 21-day ultimatum, it is issued to federal government. Okay, as the 21-day ultimatum, it is issued to the federal government that the close of the 21-day strike comes very, very fast. The Nigerian Medical Association has warned it will go around medical services nationwide if the government fails to meet its demand. The president of the medical services, as a Professor Bala Audu, who confirmed this in an exclusive interview, says that the association's demands were critical to the survival of Nigeria's healthcare system and the welfare of medical professionals across the country. Says that we have made our position clear. the ultimatum ends on July 23rd, that is 2025. And if the federal government does not address our demands, we may have no choice but to proceed with a strike. According to him, the circular contains provisions that were not mutually agreed upon and which undermine the remuneration and welfare of medical professionals. He said that we have rejected that circular outright. We expect that in any new directive affecting our members should be the outcome of mutual consultation, not something imposed. Yeah, I think it is important that there is a mutual agreement, not just imposition. And I think we are still towing the same line of the review, just the health and security, because it is important. We can't overemphasize the rules of the medical doctors in the daily healthcare system. When you go to general hospitals, you see a lot of people every day just coming for health issues. Just imagine just a day strike. Not imagine how many people.
I think the federal government and the state government should look inward and they should listen to the enemy, because we all know that health is wealth. Without the health officers, a lot of people will be dropping dead on the road and on the street. So we can visit the general hospital, even the private home hospital, day in, day out, people trooping and troop out. So the health officer, what's the role they play in humanity, in mankind, in the nation, is very, very key and essential, that the government should not allow any strike in that sector. That sector play a vital role, because it is when there is health, even the president today, even the governor today, even if you are a national or state assembly officer or executive chairman or elected councillor today, you are there because you have a good health. And those that are in the private sector, holding one either CEO or the other, one position or the other, you are there because you have good health. The government should not allow enemy to go on strike.
Yes, from Ifako Radio to the ears of the government at the federal level, state level, and even local government level. Please, the government should hear this from Ifako Radio. Doctors should not go on strike. Health is well and it's important to everybody and our nation.
Not only doctor, the entire medical personnel, irrespective of which association they belong, should not be allowed to go on strike. They should quickly set up a committee
to reach an agreement. Because from the news it says that they have given them 21 days, and also they sent out a kind of memo, but then it is not favorable to the enemy. So there should be a mutual agreement where everybody will reach a resolution.
Yeah. So the Punch newspaper have campaign of calamity against EFCC. Wow. This is serious.
Yes.
Against EFCC. Steve Osuji, EFCC alarming impunity and trump up charges against the EFCC and its executive chairman, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, leaves so much to be desired. Reading through the body research piece by a former editor clearly showed a hard struggle to assemble a tissue of lies that fell flat on the face of glaring fact and verifiable record of the EFCC in its relentless tackles against corruption in the land. So I think there are some editors that try to make research on EFCC. So they put a searchlight on EFCC right from inception to date. So they found out that a lot of things, I wouldn't want to use the word corruption, but allegedly by the Punch newspaper. So that a lot of things is not right in the EFCC. So, and that's why those editors published a lot of things against EFCC, and now the present chairman is not happy with that. So I think the EFCC chairman should look inward and look at the staffs and make his findings and see what his staffs are doing. He may be a perfect man, but how about other people? his team working? Are they doing the same? So you should look at what. And if it's able to do that, then the bad egg among the FCC, you should frame them up and bring them to book.
Okay, yeah, I think
Because nobody is above the law, because EFCC stand as a need to fight against corruption in Nigeria. Because I remember the days of no Ribadu as EFCC chairman. A lot of things happened that even the world were giving grants to EFCC. They respect EFCC. Now, to which the question is that, is EFCC being respected?
maintaining that integrity.
Do they still maintain that integrity? Are they being known for integrity? They should look at what? They should go back to the table, to their drawing table. They should go back and have retreat upon retreat with their staffs and bring them into that limelight of anti-corruption crusade that we know them for. I think with that, the EFCC chairman will be able to achieve that, then the Nigerian masses will now respect them more.
Yeah, this is from Ifako Radio to Nigeria. So because EFCC is not just a one-man thing, it's a structure that has a couple of people working together. So one person's integrity cannot overshadow other people's personality. So I think it is important that they do a cross-check on everybody's integrity, and they organize maybe timely retreats to just put everybody on the same course. Because if you have core values and you are not checking yourself on what your core values are, then there is room for derailment. So for us to maintain the integrity as EFCC, it is important that there is constant check and there is constant retreats for each and everybody, because the core value of the company is different from each person's personality. So that will be all for now from Ifako Radio News Review. So you can follow us